average for its tier, so we can't really have major complaints here either. Overall, this is a fantastic gun. Give it stuff to shoot and it will thank you for it at the end of the battle with some great results. Next up is the protection, and it's mostly good news once again. While in terms of hit points it is at the lower end of the scale with only 600 HP, the armor makes up for it. It has typical American heavy standards. The turret is nicely armored with 102mm in the front and 83mm on the sides and back. The front of the hull is good too, with 83mm of armor. But as it's common in this tech tree, the sides at 44mm and the rear at only 41mm is complete garbage. It is also worth mentioning that this thing is long as hell, and with the entire sides being one giant weak spot, you have to be vigilant to keep your front towards the enemy at all times. This goes for angling as well, while you should absolutely do it, and it will reward you with many steel walls, especially when top tier. If you overdo it and allow shots in your massive side, you will regret it really quickly. Also, watch out for artillery fire, especially when there is higher tier artillery in play. You will be one of the biggest targets on the battlefield with massive, poorly protected engine deck on the back. One good shot will ruin your day in a second. Regarding mobility, it has an average 35.4 km/h top speed, but it accelerates actually quite well, so it will feel relatively fast. Hull traverse is at 25 degrees per second, but the turret traverse is actually quite good at 30 degrees per second. The view range is average at 330 meters, and the signal range, well, that's unfortunately a bit on the lower side with 480 meters only. For suggested equipment, I did go with vents, gun rammer and optics, and I was quite happy with the performance. I did not really feel the need of a gun laying drive, as the aiming time is already quite alright to begin with, plus it already gets the benefit of having vents already installed. As for crew skills, you cannot go wrong with sixth sense and repairs. A target this big being tracked in the open is a recipe for disaster. So what's the verdict on the T1 Heavy? Well, it's no big secret that I love this tank, and I would really suggest going back to it for some fun from time to time. The KV series is widely regarded as the king of the mid-tiers with reason, but the T1 Heavy is an absolute match for it when played well. But enough of the praises. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Alright, so here we are in Hidden Village, in a tier 5 maximum game. Ideal conditions for a great game. So right at the beginning I decide to go up to the middle section, to that little hill, where usually the main front lies. Unfortunately, most of my team just decides to head over to the little village, which is less than ideal, and I have to admit, I will be bitching a bit in the comments, because this just pissed me right off. This was the, I don't know, 10th, 20th game of this day, when my own team just decided to go completely lemming mode and forgot to be present where most of the battle took place. But hey. So I tell the others who come with me to just defend. There's definitely nothing we can do here to push until we will have a reasonable position. Here we go. I almost go down there, but nope. I take a deep breath and I go up here, which is my favorite spot on this map, or at least from this side, is actually peeking over between these two rocks. Which luckily the accuracy of most of the guns in these tiers is not that great, and these rocks will block a lot of shots for me, and I can easily reverse back if I have to. So first customer is the BDR, which is actually the only good player on the enemy team, at least by the stats. So naturally he will be priority target for me. So far, it's quite unfortunate. Tries to take cover behind that house, but that is actually absolutely destroyable, and I will definitely not allow him to take cover over there. Alright, there we go, and great, now the Churchill has arrived as well. So BDR goes back to cover, it's time to focus on Mr. Churchill. Track him, and now it's time to unload the DPM monster that this tank is. In the meantime, Our team is busy playing with the lights and mediums in the town. And to be frank, they actually do clear the map, which helps us because we are not flanked, but in the meantime, large amount of enemy tanks is just pushing in the middle, and we have to make short work out of this BDR so we can turn around and help out the guys in the lower section of the map, because we are being flanked. Luckily we have a great player with that Su-76 behind us, and he's definitely helping us to keep that front clear. Here I stop for a second, I'm just typing frantically, which almost cost me, as of course RT is zoomed in on me. Oops. So that was the big plan. And RT is raining, coming down hard on me. You can expect this driving a T1 heavy, you are such a juicy target. Oops. The heads are left from the enemy attackers to make short work of him. Okay, so now it's only the defenders in the enemy team. It dodged another bullet, so it's time to go down and help out those guys. T14 did a good job as well. One of the KVs actually did an alright game as well. So it's not that they were completely useless there, but the positioning in the beginning of the game was less than optimal. This could have gone wrong very, very easily. Alright, so KV1 just below us. Not so tough now, are we? Landing some cheeky shots from the side. He has absolutely no idea where those shots are coming from. Oops, we are taking fire from an Su-85 as well, so it's ramming time! Yeah, close enough. Alright, now we have to make quick work out of those enemy TDs, because otherwise we will get chewed up by them. Come on, let's fully aim. Okay, that's great. And KV1 finishes them off. Excellent, so now only the two RT left. Let's not get overconfident. But this should be in the bag. So one of them moves back into that depression, which is usual, to be expected. The other is just behind that house. So, one shot. Who gets the kill? Well, Su-76 gets it. He deserves it. And right now, with only one enemy RT left, I just completely go into lower mode and actually think about ramming that guy, just going down. But he pops up. I take a shot. Fortunately, it's only his tracks. Do no damage, and that's my doom, but Su-76 nails it. So this was Hidden Village in the T1 Heavy, netting us another Ace Tanker and High Caliber badges. It turned out to be quite a nice game despite the scary start, but for that we had to take our fair share of the work, taking care of some of the largest threats on the map. Luckily, we were just in the right tank for that sort of stuff. We did score almost 2000 damage and 4 kills, giving us a base XP of 1168 and over 43,000 credits in a premium account. We came first overall in terms of damage done and XP earned, and came close second by number of kills behind that Su-76 driver, who had a great game as well. We pretty much held the Western Front by ourselves. Unfortunately, most of the team did not really contribute much to this success. We fired a whopping 40 shots in total, scoring 26 hits and 19 penetrations. The fact that we could score so much damage shows that we can out-DPM our own inaccuracy. Plus, we also have to bear in mind that I used the gun to destroy the cover of that BDR G1B. We also managed to bounce 6 out of the 12 shots fired, negating 570 potential damage and allowing us to do our job. Cool game, we're ready for the next round. Alright, so this time we are on Redshire in an encounter match. Luckily, it's tier 5 game once again, so we have another good chance for some crazy results. Not that this tank wouldn't do well in tier 6 games, but there are optimal conditions and optimal conditions, so hey, that's what you get. So I decide to go down to this brawling spot, which I usually do in encounter matches as well, because usually the enemy team thinks the same way. We wouldn't want to allow an open pass into our soft back front, and I call for help, which is definitely needed, because in the beginning everybody just zooms down to the cap, which is less than ideal. So I carefully advance to that little elevation, and oh, with the M4. There's actually an M4 and a BDR G1B platooning up, and they are both good players, actually the only really good players in the team. So I try to angle here, take some shots. Oop, and there is the BDR, so it's time to go back. You did see I did use the auto aim here. I tend to do this when I don't need to aim, but I need to move, and I didn't really aim my shots really well for the M4, but I couldn't really stop. And unfortunately I can't do both at the same time really well, so hey, that's what it is. But enemy Stug is nailed, and oh great, oh my god. So it's quite heavy opposition here. That's okay. Just have to angle and just jump in, jump back, and you see the DPM on these guys is by far not as great as with mine. So jumping out and then straight back, it's not wait for to be fully aimed this time. We have the penetration to do this effectively, and again, and we chew them up like nobody's business. Okay, we stuck. Now it's time for the BDR, and there goes the two heavy tanks. And unfortunately, I got careless here. I don't realize that the M4 is peeking out from behind the rock, but he's insta-punished by the Stug from the other side. So that was definitely a mistake from my behalf, but luckily